Well, I thought it was December. Ah. Well, they got an extension on on their visa.
A
Right.
longer holiday.
Yeah. Start February?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Nah, yeah, yeah. What I was just thinking was, I hope they packed enough food because
They'd have to eat each other otherwise.
there's only two of them.
But that's a very good point. I mean, they have to have provisions, don't they?
Yeah, they have
You
to.
know, liquid and so on. So, yeah, it's not a good situation. It
It's
really
not,
isn't.
is it? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's another 8 months, isn't it? Is it 10 months? All right. So they went up in June, and they're not going to be back till that's almost a year. My
February, March. Yeah,
yeah,
about 8 or 9 months. Yeah,
yeah. That's
it's
wow.
a long time.
It's a long time. That's
My
a
my question is,
yeah,
said Elon Musk was going to send a spaceship up there, and they said they don't have the right suit.
yeah.
Is it those at the top there who doesn't have the right suit, or those going from Earth to meet them are the one not having the right suit? I don't get
It,
it.
it was those at the top. Those already there.
Then why can't those coming from Earth take the suit they need
Yeah,
up there for
yeah.
them?
That's a very good.
Good question. Yeah.
I hope Elon Musk is watching this and all this. NASA. I hope NASA. You just subbed. You just subbed $1 million question. Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
somebody, I hope somebody in charge of something is watching this because I never thought about that. Did you think of that, Trevor?
Well, yeah. I mean, to me, without putting thoughts in people's minds, you wonder what would happen if one of them, for example, developed appendicitis. I mean, they can't. They're not surgeons. Whether they'd have
Yeah.
some backup thing, I don't know. But if they could develop something quite serious, which
Yeah.
humans do, and well, I suppose they'd be doomed to die. I mean, that would be the reality of it, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, that would be it. That would be it.
Hopefully, that
They'd be,
wouldn't happen. But
well,
no,
hopefully,
it's not good.
we're hoping that that doesn't happen, but it is a possibility. Or not even that, you could develop a migraine or something. Well,
Yeah,
I think they'd be properly. I think they would have good medical provisions for minor things, but like you said, appendicitis. That's
yeah.
abnormal, isn't it? Uh,
Did any of you watch this movie about some guys going into space like that, and one of them got stuck and he
right.
had to improvise? He was planting potato. He had to use the uh
Yeah,
this light. Did you watch it, Trevor?
I did see it. Yeah, he
Yeah,
went to
he had to
Mars. I
improvise. Yeah,
remember. Yeah, he went up to Mars, didn't he? And he had to sort of
yeah.
grow a lot of stuff.
Grew a
In
lot of his own stuff, and it
yeah,
was
it was an interesting film. Actually, it was
yeah.
good. Can't remember what it was called, but it was good.
I
It was
can't
called
remember
The
what it's
Martian,
called.
I think. Something like The Martian. Sure, it was that. Yeah,
All
yeah, it's
right.
very
I can't
good.
remember what it's called, but the guy had to improvise, had to plant his own potato. There's a way he got water, clean water. It was wonderful. And he survived.
You
Yeah,
did. I think I'll just die out of fear.
I think he was there for about 8 months or so.
I would, I
Eight
would, I
months,
would, I know I would die. I know I would die.
yeah.
If they managed to get me on there for a week and then message got to me that, I'm going to be staying longer there, that's it. I'll just give up. I'd refuse to eat. I'd refuse to drink, just starve to death. That's it. So I don't want to be scared for over 100 days because that's 9 months. That's that's almost that's almost 300 days. 300 days. We're getting close to 200 and something days. No, I don't want.
That's like 10 months, I think. Yeah, 10 months.
Yeah.
300 days, 10 months.
Is it? All right. So yeah, that's close to 300. That, you know, by the time it comes back, America would have a new president, wouldn't they?
President. Yeah.
You say you wouldn't eat or whatever,
Oh,
Emmy, but or cuz you say you wouldn't eat,
yeah.
but actually you still have your self-preservation instinct, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just willingly give up your life.
But
You'd
yeah.
still hope that you'd be rescued, wouldn't you?
I would. I would, Trevor. I'm telling you, because I wouldn't even go in the first place. So if I found myself there, I'm already dying. And the only hope that I would have would be, oh, you're only going to be here for a week. All right. And I'll be counting down the days. And then you now tell me that you're adding
Yeah.
another 200 odd days to that to that. That's it. I'll be like, yeah, okay. Just tell them just tell them one of the astronauts died. But he's still alive. Yeah, he's dead. Because how you gonna resuscitate me? You know, I'm floating about, you know, up there, just, you know, floating about, throwing up my last dinner. I'm
I
sorry.
think most of those astronauts
Yeah.
have knowledge of almost everything.
Right.
They've got medical knowledge, they've got knowledge of everything. They're so vast
Yeah.
in information. They know a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Somebody has a cut, they know how to stitch, they know nearly everything. I think before you can become an astronaut, they put you through some trainings.
Yeah.
Virtually, you have to know everything.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I'm thinking is, would they be able to? I'm just thinking about the sort of the difference in the gravitational pull there. You know what I mean? So for instance, if you had a cut on your hand, on your wrist, I think the sensible thing to do is to raise it above your heart, and that slows down the blood flow.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you raise it up, and you know, you apply pressure to it. As long as it's above your head, you know, then you don't have blood flow that much. You sort of not restrict, but re, sort of lower
Reduce.
the rate,
Yeah.
reduce the
Yeah.
rate. Now, if you're somewhere in outer space where there isn't gravity, let's face it, there's no gravity there, you know, and you cut yourself, you know, what do? You know, you can't really, because you're floating about. You're just gonna bleed to death. That's it. You don't.
There must be a way. There must be a way they go about it. They probably might tie you down somewhere and use a rope, tie it to a chair or something, so that you don't float around.
There's no up and down, as you say. There's no up and down in space. There's no gravity, which must be weird in itself, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So that alone, that in itself, you know, sort of what is everything that you've learned whilst being on Earth is thrown out the window then, because you know it doesn't apply there. It does not. So whatever you've learned here does not apply there. I don't know how they digest their food if they're floating around, because I've seen images or videos of astronauts doing their practice or whatever, practicing how to, live in space. And there's an apple,
how
someone,
to how to how to maintain their balance and
yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, and someone threw an apple up, and this apple was just going about, and this guy had to do a dive to get the apple. I'm thinking, I don't want to be doing that, chasing your
Good
food.
fun. Good fun.
What?
But actually, if you're in space or if you're
Yeah,
on the Earth, you say about how would you digest your food. But
yeah,
actually, if you stand on your head, you can try this later, Emmy
yeah.
and Femi. Stand on your head, you can still swallow, right?
Oh,
Although
yeah.
in other words, it goes against gravity, but your body will still swallow
All right.
perfectly
Solid.
well.
Really?
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
try it
try.
later.
I'll try. I'll try it
I
after
do
the
it quite.
show.
I do it quite a lot.
Do you? I
It
wouldn't
does
mind.
work, I'm told.
I wouldn't do it in case I choke. If I start choking, then what do I do then?
That's strange, you know. That is really strange. It goes against gravity and it
It
goes
does.
down while
It
you're
does.
Yeah,
upside down.
it's the
Wow.
process that when we swallow it's it's like an engine really, and it will
Yeah.
even upside down. It will take the food into your stomach. Clever stuff.
It's like
Wow.
that.
Clever
It's like
stuff.
that. The pipe there, it's got suction. It must have a suction that just,
Mhm.
sucks it down. Because if you're on your
I
head,
think I think it's just nature.
all right,
Nature.
Yeah,
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah,
Nature, brilliant.
yeah. I
Some
wouldn't.
people say that on that very point, it's quite an interesting point. Some people have said that if you like, God made a mistake in two ways. I forget the second one, but the first one is he put together. I do remember the second one. I'm not sure I'll say that on here, but the first one is he put together eating, in other words, the swallowing reflex we have with breathing.
Yeah,
Now, when you think about that, and sadly, people, we don't want to get morbid, but people do choke to death.
yeah.
Very often, much older people who perhaps, I mean, very old people can actually choke on soup because it doesn't need to be a solid piece of meat.
All right.
But
Yeah.
it is interesting how when we're eating, we don't think about it, I guess, but we're chewing up and somehow we know instinctively without thinking what size it has to be so we can swallow it
Yeah,
into our trachea and so on.
right.
We just instinctively know that.
All right.
But
So on that note,
at the
Trevor,
same time, we know we can't
we're
breathe.
we're
We
running
mustn't.
out of time.
Oh, are we? Sorry.
That,
Sorry,
this is
Sorry
a
Trevor.
about that,
very
Kaz.
interesting one, honestly. Maybe
sorry,
we'll do that next week.
sorry, Trevor. Yeah, we'll do that next week. This
We
is all we
carry
got
on with
time
that
for.
next
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, so you've been watching and listening to the Alien Spaceship with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me Cuz.
And me, Femi Madariola, and he calls me Safemo.
Right, so it's
On that
goodbye from
note,
me. Yeah, sorry, go
on
on.
that note, we say goodbye and see you next week.
Right, so it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Yeah. Right.